Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. If you need a really nice trainer type setup trailer, but maybe you don't need a 7, 8 horse, 10 horse, 11 horse, circle back around next week. There will be an 11 horse videoed here that we just got in for a customer. But maybe you don't need quite that big, or you got one of those big rigs and you need a little bit smaller trailer, like a 4 horse that's kind of set up that way. This is an awesome trailer sitting behind us, and it is set up that way. This is a 2025 Cimarron Norstar 4 horse air ride with the easy tack. So we're gonna walk you through this trailer. It has a ton of stuff on it. So before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the drawing, show you a couple things on how the actual trailer is laid out. So it's a 4 horse, it's got a front dressing room, it's got the easy tack. We're just under 24 foot on the floor, we're 23.9. This is an 8 wide trailer, so you get that full 8 wide, and then it's 7.4 tall, so extra tall, extra wide. It's got a pod. Man, this thing's got a ton of extras on it, so bear with us here. We're gonna walk you through all of it. First and foremost, Cimarron all aluminum construction, 8-year structure warranty, 3-year hardware, 1 year no questions asked warranty on the tires. So we'll talk more about those in a little bit. Just start up here at the nose. Couple things. This hitch right here, this is a B&W coupler. It's rated for 25,000 pounds. This is really cool because Cimarron and B&W came together a couple years ago, developed a coupler. This is the 3rd generation of it. It creates a lower profile handle, so we can actually slide this guy up a little bit higher. You know, if you're needing to haul it with the taller truck, something along those lines, you've got a lot of flexibility with the low pro handle by getting an extra hole drilled in there. This is the VP style nose, or excuse me, the wraparound style nose versus the standard VP. In my opinion, it's a sleeker look to the trailer. I think it's a cleaner look. It's definitely a nice feature there. We'll show you the profile as we work around the trailer of it. Underneath here, you're gonna have the single leg, but it's the electric over hydraulic by Equalizer. This is the system we use in our parts and service department as well, because it has the manual override. Get an emergency situation, dead battery, something along those lines, you can actually get this on or off the truck. Spares located to the left of that as we're looking at it. And then up here, you're also gonna get the battery box with your 12-volt battery. So all that's located in this aluminum battery box. As you can see, this is the onboard compressor. So this is for our air ride system. It's all self-contained, so it's really easy to operate on, off, lower raise. There's a drain as well. We like to position them in these boxes because you can really see it. If not, it usually tucks over here. It's a little bit harder to get to. So if we can, we like to put it in here, and it protects it a little bit more, but it's all self-contained. You don't have to have air from your truck or anything like that. It's all right here for you to access. You get a battery disconnect up here. If for some reason you park this, you want to kill all power, you know, you just reach up here, you turn this guy to off, you accidentally leave a light on, it's actually going to kill power to the trailer and turn that light off. So it has a lot of lights that I'm going to show you that can get left on, get bumped and left on, and drain battery. But when you park this and walk away from it at a show, at home, you just turn that guy to off and it'll kill all power. This is a newer feature here too. It's the RecArc charger. So this system here is actually a newer feature that Cimarron's been putting on. We've been messing around with it for a while. We're believers in it. What it is it's a true 3-stage charger for this battery. Look, your truck will work as a trickle charger to this battery as you're driving, but it works as a trickle charger. I like to say this works as more of like a supercharger. I mean, it's going to keep this battery nice and full as far as charged up. It's going to also give it a lot of longevity, a lot more life to it, because we are going to keep it charged up. It's also going to tell us when we plug into our truck whether or not we have power coming from the truck. There's a little light that'll tell us, hey, we have actually inbound power from the truck. You'd be surprised, but a lot of times we get customers come in with a blown fuse, especially like 12 volt. So this is a big power draw when we go to hit that button to raise this trailer up and down. Sometimes it'll trip a fuse on the truck, but it'll tell us that, but also it'll protect that fuse from tripping going back the other way. So again, that's standard on all these with a hydraulic jack and a battery on the trailer itself. So that is a newer feature there. So again, this is that wraparound style nose. Again, I think it's a cleaner look. We've actually got a couple goosenecks parked over here. If you look at the profile of those are the VP style. So again, this is a cleaner, sleeker look with the wraparound. We really like that on these nice trailers like this that are really loaded up. Definitely gives it a good look to it. This is the other thing where that coupler comes into play. A lot of these newer trucks have taller beds. You're probably familiar with that if you drive a newer truck and hook onto an older trailer. One of two things happens. Either you have to adjust your coupler to get bed height clearance, so as far as your bed height goes, but the trailer tips back and it's running on that back axle. That's not what we want. We want the trailer running level, but we want bed clearance. So sometimes you have the trailer running level, but minimal bed clearance, and nobody wants to tear up a bed on one of these new pickups. They are expensive. So we've actually made this gooseneck drop wall 53 inches versus the standard 50. We went up in height 7.4, so we went up 3 inches. So it really does not change our storage area in the gooseneck at all compared to the standard trailers, but it allows us to adjust that coupler how we need it to, make sure this trailer's running level on both those axles, get an equal weight distribution, but have plenty of bed clearance. I will never say that you can never tear up a bed, but now we've drastically reduced the chances of that happening by changing that gooseneck drop wall height by the 3 inches. It doesn't sound like much, but it does when you actually come to hook up a new truck on one of these trailers. All right, so this is where it's gonna get really cool. I mean, I've already showed you a lot of cool features, but check this out. This is that easy tack. This is a great setup. Everything's really accessible. You see dual doors, so it's kind of the concept of a trainer tack, but a little bit of a difference from the standpoint of how it changes that front dressing room on the other side that we'll show you when we get to that. But how cool is that? You've got these dual doors. On the left hand, as we're looking at it, you're gonna get a 6-tier blanket pole rack on a gas shock, brush tray below that, carpet behind it. This is the 2-point internal locking mechanism for this door. So this door's got to shut first, then the other door over it. But this guy here will lock in and pin in. So sometimes you might not even have to open both doors if need be. Maybe you have everything accessible on the right-hand door, but boy, when you want to open it up, there you got it. So over on the right-hand door, as we're looking at it, we did 2 brush trays here. We did a set of hooks up high for you, carpet behind it. So carpet around this, on all these tack walls that we're looking at on this easy tack, just to protect everything. You know, our bridles, just things from swaying. We always see that on used trailers come in. You see that partial moon as things have been moving as you drive, and it just scuffs up that aluminum. Well, what's it doing to your tack? What's it doing to the trailer? The carpet's gonna protect that. But then here you go. So we did 3 tiers, 3 posts with 2-tier saddle racks on each one of them. So you have a total of 6 on this guy here. These are all adjustable too. So on this recessed post, on all 3 of these, you can adjust those how you want. If you want to add another one, you can. If you want to change the sequencing, move one to where you have 3 and 3 and then have more floor space, you have that capability. But these saddles are really easily accessible by having them right here and down low. So in that kind of break in that wall, again, we'll show you when we get to the other side, but you're going to notice there's another big row of hooks up there to hang items, carpet behind everything. And then I want to show you this floor, because this is something a little bit newer that we've been incorporating on a lot of horse trailers. It's been very well received. We like it because, one, we don't like carpet on floors just because it holds odor, it holds stains. This is this gray rubber. It's sealed at the edges. It's got good tread to it, but boy, is it just an easy way to clean up your tack floor by having that. And again, we're incorporating it quite a bit throughout these trailers themselves. There's a couple LED lights on the inside up there as well, but I'll show you how this guy here. So again, this left-hand door, as you're looking at it on the screen, shuts. That 2-point internal locking mechanism just clips in. And then the right-hand door with the butterfly that goes over it. This is lockable, but then you also have this deadbolt combo. So you don't necessarily have to lock this guy. You got your code, you can lock this, send somebody to the trailer. You don't have to go find keys, punch that in, open it up. If this is locked, then you will have to have those keys. The last part are those fold-up steps. We made it to where this one here and then this guy here fold up. But if I just want to open right-hand door, I can drop this one, open up this door, it clears this one. I don't necessarily have to put them both down, but having those steps there, reaching up and grabbing those bridles is definitely a nice feature. This trailer, I mentioned, is air ride, so actually it's lowered right now. So when we go to air this trailer up, it'll pick it up about 2.5 inches, 2.5, 3 in that ballpark. It'll actually raise it. We recommend that when you're loading, unloading horses, you know, you're somewhere using the trailer, getting all this stuff, put it in the lower position, because now everything's lower to the ground. That step's not as big. I'll show you the rear ramp. It's not as steep. It's not as big of a step for the horses. There's a lot of things like that that come into play when you have it lowered versus raised. We did a couple 16-inch awning lights out here for you. We did one above this tack area, and then one kind of center wheel well area where you're actually going to be, you know, having horses tied up and working with them. On the top rail, you've got multiple button lights up top. It's a nice trailer. It's loaded. Let's put a few more lights on it. It looks cool at night. You're not going to regret having a lot of lights by any means. We're going to get a side profile. Up top, we did a hay pod on this guy. This is a 6-foot hay pod, and then we extended it with a deck and then extended the sides. You'll get a better look at that when we get to the back there, but now you have a hay pod where you can actually store hay. It's weather sealed, or additional items that maybe you don't even have to tie down. You can just toss in that pod and then shut that lid there. As you can see, we opted, instead of bus windows, we did the drops on butt side here. So this really helps from airflow, especially if you live down in the southern states where it gets real hot, real humid. Airflow is really important. It's important wherever you live, but in those states, this is one of the most common things we hear from customers that call in and say, I live down in Texas, you know, I live down south, I gotta have drop windows on the hip wall. Does it have it? This guy does. It also has the bus windows within those. So if you wanted to shut these guys up, kind of minimize a little bit more airflow, you can manipulate that with that part of it there. All right, so we have 7,000-pound axles. This is the Airflex system. Electric brakes on this. 16-inch aluminum wheels, the spoke. We upgraded to G-rated 14-ply tires. So good running gear underneath this guy. So let's talk about that air ride. I showed you the box up front, but once you have an air ride trailer, the most common response we get from our customers is, I will never own a trailer again without air ride. It pulls phenomenally well, but more importantly, the horses ride so much better. They're so much more comfortable, calm. They step off the trailer fresher. We hear customers that'll make long distance trips, and they said, hey, I can cut a full day off of recovery time by going with the air ride trailer because the horses ride so much better and step off the trailer fresher. That's less expense on the road. That's less hotel rooms, less meals on the road, maybe less labor costs while you're out on the road traveling. So over time, yes, it is an added expense, but believe me, it will pay for itself tenfold. I mean, we spend a lot of time and money on these horses. They're a big investment. Why not allow them to step off this trailer fresh, ready to go compete at the highest level, and the air ride makes a big difference. We've got some video that we can send you of how some horses act, the air ride versus not an air ride, and it's night and day difference. Can't imagine a minute-long clip and then times it by, hey, it's a 5-6 hour trip that you're making, and that horse is going to be exhausted. So definitely worth looking into the air ride. This guy's equipped with it, and again, you won't regret it when you have it. Now, if you're used to some of the older air ride systems where like a bag or an airline, you know, caused an air leak and you were stuck and you couldn't move the trailer, this one you can. It's actually got that rubber torsion system with shocks, and then the Airflex system involved in it with it as well, to where you can still get to where you want to go with the trailer itself. You're not stuck. All right, at the back here, we did kind of a split 50-50 rear doors rather than the big door. Some customers kind of prefer this rather than the larger door because of just wind. Wind can catch it. It's a big sail, so we split this guy here. This guy here is a rear ramp. If you don't want a rear ramp load, we could remove that and put a rubber bumper over it where the actual ramp connects to the back of the trailer. Some customers like rear ramps, you know, their horses prefer those loads. Maybe they want to haul a four-wheeler in it from time to time, you know, have it dual purpose. But this one here's got the ramp over these rear doors. They have windows in both back doors. Again, airflow is really key. So you'll notice the same concept that as we work in here. The dividers are airflow, head grills over the mangers are airflow, and then this very front one here is a stud divider, and then we extended the bars with the airflow all the way to the back. So this first stall, if you needed additional just storage, you wanted to stack a bunch of bedding or hay or anything like that, you can go clear up and not have to worry about things shifting, you know, getting underneath horses or over the top of the divider itself. This guy here is heavier. Think about all this material we have. They've got these big springs. As you saw, the partial dividers are pulled to the mangers. This trailer's tipped towards passenger side right now. So if you level it out, the spring's gonna pull this guy over to the side. What we wanna do, and what Cimarron strives to do, is make sure everything's one-handed operation. Leading horses on, leading horses off, grabbing divider, grabbing the actual release off the wall, slamming one shut, anything like that, one-handed operation so we can lead the horse in here. So you have these slam latches that we're looking at. This is a plastic UMW piece. It's heavy duty. So when it clicks in here, we don't have metal to metal contact. Everything has a radius. This is aluminum cast piece that's powder coated. You notice it's rounded. The wheel well, it's tapered up. It's tapered on the ends. We don't like 90-degree angles. So try to put, you know, a smooth angle on everything. And you get that when you put your hands on the dividers, the jail bars, up here in the door frames, everything has a smooth radius. So I give Cimarron a lot of credit on trying to keep, you know, horse safety first and foremost. 4 LED lights in here. These are the big OptiBright lights. So you have a ton of light when you go to hit it on this guy. It's really gonna light this trailer up. Again, you're not gonna regret a lot of lights. On the roof, we have two-way roof vents. We have one above each horse. So you have 4 of them, so you can manipulate more airflow. But talk about just keeping this stall area nice and cool and comfortable. You're gonna get that, especially with all these components, but then we finish it off with this insulated roof. So that is standard on every single Cimarron. So it's a 1/2 inch thick, it's a honeycomb design. It's got an R3 thermal value. It's got a gel coating on top. So it's really stout. I can walk on this roof and I won't dent it. It'll take 150 pounds per square foot. More importantly is it will keep this stall area about 20% cooler than an actual aluminum sheeted roof. So think about that in the summertime, really hot, really humid. You step in these trailers, they're a lot cooler. So we're trying to keep these horses as comfortable as possible. And I think we'll nail it with this one. And just because we know we've built a lot of these in different sizes, but you know, 4 horse, 7 horse, 8 horse, 11 horse, you know, air ride, the horses ride better, they're more comfortable, they're more just comfortable from the standpoint of temperature and then the ride itself. So when we flip to the other side, we did Werm flooring on this guy, so we got rid of your rubber mat, so you're welcome. You don't have to pull mats out of this guy to clean it. It's like resting an alligator. They're gone. Don't have to worry about it. Muck out whatever you need to. Hop through the escape door, nose it up a little bit, and power wash it out, and you're good to go. So this is a permanent, unpenetrable, you know, rubber mat. The floor underneath it is going to look like the day it was built is going to look like that, you know, 15, 20 years from now, because this is going to protect it. I also like it too because I think in the winter time and even in the summertime, it works as almost like an insulation on the floor as well. But then when we flip to the floor side of things, I'll give you a little bit of information on that. Is Cimarron has the best floor on the market. So keep that in mind. What you have is a 12-inch deck piece that locks in high and low, tongue and groove. So you have 2 points of contact that lock it into place. But within that, you have 4-inch centers, and you have a V-truss in the middle. So that V-truss versus their previous floor was the best on the market with 4-inch centers, makes that floor 60% shear force stronger. So they had the best floor, they improved it. But think about hoof size of a horse on this floor. Wherever they're standing on a support beam. So Where that comes into play is if you peek at other manufacturers and you look under their floor and their centers that run across the whole length spread apart, you put a big horse in the middle, it starts creating those pits, waves in the floor. And if you don't have like a Werm, maybe you're just bedding, maybe you got rubber mats, urine can collect in those and start to corrode that floor. So it's really good. It's almost like building a house. You want to start off with a solid foundation, and that's what you have on a Cimarron, and then we build up from there. So you got a good look. There's the mangers. I'll show you the doors on the outside, but you've got that as far as storage, being able to throw some feed up there. You have this partial wall that I'll show you when we get to the other side of the trailer here in a minute. Butt strap that goes across the opening rather than one big piece of metal that goes across there. If a horse hits it and it comes at you, it could do some damage. So on these larger openings, we like the butt strap instead. These are independent doors, so you can shut one ahead of the other. Whichever way you shut them, it's just a little bit easier to open them. Not to say you can't do it the other way, but shut the left-hand door, shut your right-hand door. I would open them in the same sequence, right hand, then left hand. You're gonna notice the welded hinges with grease zerks. That's on all your doors, so they're easier to maintain. They're welded, so they're really strong. But there's a brass rod in the middle here. You can kind of see it. That runs the full length, and then it's got a groove cut into it. So imagine like a candy cane where it's got that swirl. When we put grease to it and open and close this door, it's wanting to feed that grease throughout the entire hinge. So a lot easier for you to maintain as far as that's concerned. Now, this ladder looks kind of like a bolt-on ladder, but it's not. It is the easy angle ladder from Cimarron. So a lot simpler to operate and a lot simpler to get up to that hay pod area and that back deck. So again, one-handed operation. You can actually carry your hay bags up there. Try to carry hay bags and items going up a bolt-on ladder with one hand doesn't work very good. This you can, so much easier to operate. If you wanted to add this to your current trailer, it can be done. But this one here is equipped with it. Up there at the top, you're gonna notice we did a partial gate across that back opening, and then you have a deck up there as well. So you have a lot of storage up there, and when you're loading and unloading hay, you've got the ability to just kind of stand on that deck. The sides are a little bit more protected, a little bit safer for you from that standpoint. And then this guy here even locks in on these feet and then drops into the same lock that you see on these latches throughout the trailer. It has the same key as well. So if I wanted to lock this guy, I could, but granted this has the ramp over it, so we're not as concerned about it, but this is I would probably say about the third generation of this design as well on how to lock it into place. This is probably what we're gonna stick with. This makes sense. We have the feet to rest on, so look, if I had to run up this without extending it, I could, but this guy here actually locks into place. We don't have to worry about anything bouncing out. It used to be we'd have a pin or it's set into some rubber sockets where you had to push down. Sometimes some customers would forget it, unfortunately. Maybe a bounce would get it to pop out, but again, this one here has that, and boy, is that a nice feature there. We did a couple 8-inch awning lights at the back for you too, so you have some lights there. And then keep an eye on these back tail lights. You'll see that kind of white X in the middle of those. That is an actual backup light. So we were doing a lot of backup lights on our cameras. So when you throw it in reverse, you know, your truck backup lights are almost, you know, they're worthless at this point. I mean, think about it. This trailer's 24 foot on the floor. They're easily, you know, 26, 27 feet away. So you're not gonna get any light coverage back here. So we were adding a lot. Cimarron made it standard where they're built in. So instead of like one light, you've got them on 4. And we did some testing in our wash bay, and it makes a difference. I think we have a more consistent coverage area of that light rather than kind of in one spot. You know, you've all messed with a flashlight where, you know, you can really get it to where it's a real fine point on where that light is, or you can change it to where it's a lot broader, and that's what you get with this. But that is a nice feature that they have made standard on all these trailers moving forward. So I showed you that partial wall from the inside. This is what it is. It's this broom closet. So additional storage on this guy. You can throw some items in here. We put some hooks up high for you, carpet. So if you wanted to throw like extension cords, hoses, maybe it's some pitchforks, something like that, you can set those guys up there. But Another great place for storage. Again, I told you this guy had a lot of it, and again, kind of like lights, you're not going to regret. You're going to fill this trailer up probably quicker than you realize. Okay, here on head side, we've got the drop-down feed doors, and then we've got jail bars on them as well. So all these Cimarrons like this will have this track built, so all you have to do is lift it up. These guys drop down. You can offer some water, offer some more feed, flip it back up. Very easy to operate. Set it back in that track. But look at the framing around these windows. You want to talk about something that's going to hold up over time. That's what you're going to get. Maybe a lot of people don't pay attention to feed windows. I'd suggest pay attention to them now. You'll notice some manufacturers have some framework around them. It's a little bit more minimal. Some of them don't even have any framework. They're like prefab windows, and they're like a piece of paper in your hand. I mean, imagine a horse hitting and it's just going to break that window. And these windows have gotten expensive, but big, heavy duty. These are items we're going to use every time we open and close this trailer and use it. These bigger, heavier duty windows are definitely nice. You have a little bit smaller one at the escape door because it's built into the actual door itself. You got to account for framework, but it's still heavy duty, just built like the same. There's those welded hinges with grease zerks again. There's the escape door. Does have a chest bar that goes over it, but again, if you need to access something in here. And we even did the D-rings, and we have a corner feeder to throw in this if need be. You know, the rest have the mangers as well, but you've got that capability there. Then you get your manger storage. So you're gonna get 3 doors on this guy. So a lot of storage underneath here. Throw feed, throw buckets, throw lawn chairs, those type of items. And I want you to pay attention, in the second stall and fourth stall, you're gonna get more hooks. So you're gonna get hooks, and then this is normally where we'd put carpet behind those hooks. This is where we incorporated that gray rubber. We're gonna be doing this on all of our trailers. Again, it only makes sense. This area can get a little dirty at times, so let's try to protect and keep everything a little bit cleaner. Over time, this will hold up really, really well. In the back stall, if you kind of look back that way, you're gonna notice that tube. Why that tube is important is because that goes up to that manger inside there. So if you are cleaning the trailer out and you need to drain it, there's a plug you just pull out, and it actually drains that water right out of the bottom of the trailer. Again, everything's key to like, so we can lock all these feed doors, manger doors, everything, all with one key. Then we work up to the front dressing room. So this is on the back side of that easy tack that I showed you. You're gonna have your fold up step. So really easy to get in here. As you look in on the back partition wall, first thing is you can get an 18-inch deep shelf with a 2-inch lip with a clothes rod. This is awesome. You bring clothes right in here, hang them, throw some items up there, hat cans, you know, boxes, whatever you need to. You don't have to worry about shifting as you're driving because of the 2-inch lip there. It's got rubber up top there as well. Everything's carpeted. Got you a set of hooks right here as you come in too. If you need to hang some items, you've got that. And then this is that build out on the other side of that easy tack. So our saddles are right down here. Those saddle racks are. And then on this wall up here, you're gonna have your hooks that you saw on the other side. But same thing, rubber up here, a nice lip that you can throw items up here. We don't have to worry about them shifting and falling off. Look, if you needed to, and there's a couple of you traveling, you needed to spend the night, you've got your gooseneck area. But then this deck here, shoot, you could throw a mattress up here, or a sleeping bag, something like that, throw up here, and somebody could sleep on this area as well. So up in the deck, you've got a couple windows. With this being 8 wide, there is a ton of space up in that gooseneck. You have an LED light up there, LED light above the door, but then you're also gonna have framework for an air conditioner up there. That's standard on anything in the front tack. So if you ever wanted to add even like a camper vent, 12-volt vent, air conditioner. They're all the same footprint, so that framework's already there. Obviously, if you go air conditioner route, you're going to have to add like a 30 amp breaker package. But again, parts and service could help you out if you wanted to go that route. Another closed rod up over to the right hand side. We understand maybe this is your second, you know, trainer trailer. We've got a lot of customers who run, again, these big trailers, and then they've got a 4-horse. Maybe it's a little bit closer show, or maybe a long distance show and we're hauling a lot of horses. We need multiple rigs, or a little run around. This is a great setup, but we wanted to set it up the same way. So a lot of storage up there. On the gooseneck drop wall, you're gonna have the 18-inch boot box. So again, more storage. Works as a step hopping up to the gooseneck area if you want. And then on the floor, we did the gray rubber mat again. Again, that stuff's gonna hold up, and again, we've been incorporating a lot. We've been using it a little bit more extensively on our livestock, our show trailers there, but it only made sense to bring it over to this world as well. On this door here, you're gonna have the deadbolt combo as well. So just like on that easy tack, you got the capability to lock that guy, and then fold up step, easy to operate. You got a couple 16-inch awning lights on this side as well, kind of positioned between the escape door and the front tack, and then again back there by that wheel well area centered. I hope I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did, but this trailer's got a lot on it, and boy is it set up really, really well. I'm gonna give you the stock number out for reference. Again, it's a 2025 Cimarron Norstar 4-horse air ride, easy tack, pod, etc., etc. It's got a lot. 5N240740 is the stock number. You can just reference that when you're calling in. We do take trade-ins, so if you're looking to upgrade, downsize, we can help you there. Financing is available, and delivery is an option, so we could potentially just bring this to you. So give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good day.